Hi, good morning. Welcome to day 19 of my Munros challenge. Massive day today. I'm doing route 14. So the various guidebooks suggest 12, 13, 14 hours. It'll be a long day. It's 6:30 in the morning. I'm setting off and the intention is to climb 4 Munros. Devil's Point, which is the penis of a demon. Cairn, Toul, which is Rocky Hill of the Barn. Scorn, Lochan Uain, or I understand it's also known as Angel's Peak, which is peak of the Little Green Loch, and Briaric, which is the great upper part. So I'm parked at Sugar Bowl car park. There's a £2 donation in the machine, although the machine's broken this morning. Long day ahead, away we go. Pretty much a track opposite the car park, which is obviously why we've parked there, and it takes you up the Lara Grew, which is where I'm going today, and up to the bothy, and I'm going to hang a right once we get to the bothy and hit the big climbs. The path climbs quite steeply out of the burn, and it also seems to be heading in the wrong direction. A bit disconcerting at the start of such a long day, but I think it's going to double back on itself at the top of this bank. There we are, just as I said. Path following the burn, it's a bit higher up. You can see up there Aviemore ski station, and some of the piste disappearing up to Cairn, which is wrapped in cloud. A few days ago we were up there, and we can't climb Cairn pretty much twice in one day. If you look ahead, you can see a cut in the cliff side and like a col between the two mountains. I think that's Coleman Gap. I think we're going through there. I understand it's a bit of a boulder field. So that's when you head into the Lara Grew, I believe. There we go, that's a better view. Charlemagne Gap. So it's a bit of a boulder field. You need to be quite agile apparently if you want to get through it quickly. The path cutting through the gap isn't that bad. I can see there's some boulders ahead, but I don't think it's as bad as I was anticipating. We'll see. Yeah, this is more like it. This is what I was expecting. Yeah, I'm at the end of the boulder field now. Just looking back down. The guidebooks were right. It is a bit of a bit difficult to get through. It certainly slows you down. So there's a bunch of people ahead that have been wild camping with the junction with Briaric, which will come down later on. But initially we're heading up Lara Grew. Wow, look at it in all its glory. I'd not realised the significance of Lara Grew when we first saw it last week, if you remember, looking across from way away. So this is the junction that I was talking about earlier, where the return path meets the outgoing path. We're heading up this side, up Lara Grew, but we will be coming down there on our way back this evening. So I'm looking back down Lara Grew. Very rocky, stony path. I've just got to the high point, and the descent now back. Oh, that could be Devil's Point over there. Very likely is. We'll see when I get closer. So that's Cairn Man. If you remember, I walked down the erect, I think it might have been route 10. You can see it up there, and then I went up the scree up the side of Ben McDewey. So it is Devil's Point over there that we can see. I thought it was. Coming out of the Lara Grew now. I just thought I'd pan round whilst the sun's catching these peaks. Isn't that fantastic? just caught some of them wild campers up. If you look across the way there, you can see the Cairn bothy. That was potentially where I was going to do a wild camp to do this walk. And we'll see later on whether I'm going to regret not coming up here to do the wild camp, because it's taken me about 4 hours to get to this point. So there's still a long way to go. Anyway, we've got to walk past the bothy now and take the footpath behind it to get Devil's Peak. The path is pretty much going straight up the side. You see how steep it is to Devil's Point, extremely steep. So that's Ben McDewey in the cloud. I'm just at the Col, at the top of that really steep section from the bothy up to the Col at Devil's Point. So Devil's Point's up there, just through that scree and boulder. The top's just up there, so it's not too far to the first one. So this is the top, and that's where I was yesterday. Remember that really windy Col there? So they were the two I did. Not yesterday, the day before. And that's the Red Off Man. That's a scree slope, and that's Ben McDewey in the cloud. Fantastic. So that's Cairn Toul in all its glory. We're still going up this boulder field. We'll skirt around that ridge, then up to the top. Looking very rocky up there. Another boulder field, I suspect. It's been a very rocky day today. My poor knees. So I'm at the other cairn here, and now that one, oh, it's just disappeared in the cloud. That one looked bigger, no, higher. The map suggests it was the other one. So either way, I've been at both Cairn Toul. There you go, looking back at Cairn Toul from the next climb. I'm halfway up the third one. I'll use its second name, Angel's Peak. It's easy for me to remember. So we're halfway up this climb. Not as bad as the others, it's not as bouldery at the minute. I have to say the last were really difficult. So here we are, third one of the day, Angel's Peak. Breiric's over there, and all that cloud's coming in again. So unfortunately you can't see the fourth one of the day. That's where we've just come from, the second one. And the first one is hidden behind it. We followed that ridge line up to it. What a fantastic day. What a fantastic day. So I've just about finished the descent of Angel's Peak. You can see the path wrapping up around the cliffside there, and there's about 2 or 3 tops to go over, right the way around, and Break is up there, right over there in the clouds. It's just under 1300 metres Break, so it's considerably high. So I've still got a fair way to go, even though I've done 3. This has been really tricky navigation. Just coming up to the last one of the tops. I think it's 1235 metres above sea level, this one. So when I get to this one, I'm going to take a right. You see there's no path, no visibility. It's you need to have your wits about you. Anyway, when I get to this cairn, I'm going to turn right. So here we are, Breiric. This is the 3rd highest mountain in Scotland. In fact, we've just conquered 3 of the top 5 today. But this one is the 3rd highest in Scotland and indeed the UK. Unfortunately, there is 0 view. Now looking at the map, there are huge cliffs just over there. I've had to put Stan on the lead because I don't trust him. There's been a couple of grouse recently and I don't want him running off the edge of that cliff. Anyway, there's Breiric. Here's the wild campers from last night. You can see the cliff's a bit clearer now. Just getting down this boulder field. pick up the path again. So this is where them guys were wild camping earlier. That's the ravine I've got to drop down, and that's the path I've got to climb up on the other side, all the way up to that gorge. So I'm just heading back to the Chalmain Gap, the gorge with the boulder field. Still a fair bit to go, but I'll be going down the boulder field this time rather than up it. Just around this corner the boulders start. There we go. There's the footbridge we crossed earlier. We'll drop down to that, quite a steep descent I remember. Climb back up through the trees to the car park, which is hidden on the roadside over there. Hi, welcome to day 19 of my Munros challenge. Today I walked Route 14. I have to say I've been both looking forward to today, or this route, and equally trepidation about it because I knew it was going to be tough. So I've been putting it off, waiting for a really good weather day, because I know the views are stunning, the peaks are stunning, and it's one of them iconic days in the mountains. But you know, this week the weather hasn't been that good, so I've got to pretty much the end of my stay near Aviemore, so I've had to walk the route today. Fantastic route, oh, awesome. Let me tell you a bit about it though. I found that the paths were extremely difficult, very rocky, particularly going through Laragru. How stunning place Laragru is, but very, very awkward underfoot. And if you wasn't awkward underfoot, you tended to be on a boulder field. So there was a boulder field at the Chalmain Gap. There was at least 2 or 3 boulder fields going through Laragru. There was a boulder field on Devil Point going up to the summit. There's a boulder field going up Cairn, Toul, 2 or 3 actually, and there was a big boulder field on the descent from Breriac. So you just all the time it seemed to be either boulder fields or very rocky paths. So you know, it didn't bode for fast pace, and considering it was such a hard day, it made it even harder. And the ascents were extremely steep. When you left the bothy going up Devil's Point, that was just like a wall, and in fact you couldn't even see the path. You couldn't even see where it was going. It was that steep. And equally the one going up Cairn Toul was very steep, boulder fieldy, and very difficult. So the day was 24 3/4 miles. It took me just over 12 hours, and there was a massive 6,082 feet of ascent. But you'd expect that because obviously you've climbed today 3 of the top highest 5 mountains in the whole of Scotland and the whole of the UK. So it was always going to be tough. But I think what made it even tougher was you were still climbing in Laragru. There's a lot of climbing through there, and there was quite a lot of climbing actually between the car park and even getting to Laragru. So tough day, but what a day. Shame I didn't have perfect weather, but equally stunning.